Jim Jordan, scumbag. He used the House Judiciary Committee to scream about anti-Semitism, trying to get to the bottom of how anti-Semitism is rising in this country. Obviously, this is all from the fallout of Rashid Tlaib's comments, which I stand against, mind you. It's one thing to call for the freedom of Palestine, but to join in the same kind of rhetoric as Hamas is wrong. However, I find it incredibly hypocritical that someone like Jim Jordan wants to, quote-unquote, get to the bottom of anti-Semitism, knowing that the rise of anti-Semitism is in his own backyard. In this video, I'm going to give you extreme examples as to how I mean in his own backyard. But first, I want to show you Eric Swalwell, who's on the Judicial Committee, pretty much fucking Jim Jordan up the ass with his bullshit committee. Mr. Swalwell, take the motherfucker to church.
So what I'm concerned about is that we have anti-Semitic posts coming from this committee. And last October, the chairman tweeted out on October 6th, Kanye, Elon, Trump. Those 5 statements that I just read to you were from Kanye West, who had made a number of anti-Semitic statements before this tweet was put up, and then made the DEFCON statement about a day after the tweet was put up. I, the chairman at the time, Chairman Nadler, many people in the Jewish community asked the chairman, Chairman Jordan, to take this down. And it wasn't just members of Congress. It was nonpartisan Jewish organizations who said, Kanye West is anti-Semitic. I don't know what you're doing, but please do not give him a platform by leaving this tweet up. It stayed up for months. Defiantly, the chairman kept this tweet up. So, Mr. Chairman, I want to be just today your accountability partner, your online accountability partner, and just go through your social media. Because if we're going to have a hearing about anti-Semitism, we can't allow a tweet like this to be posted on our side or your side. In 2019, Chairman Jordan also tweeted at Tom Steyer and used the $ for Steyer to spell his name. Again, known Jewish philanthropist playing into what Ms. Burdett mentioned earlier, tropes about Jewish people and money. So this committee should have a conversation and a hearing about anti-Semitism. But I would first insist that the chairman, I don't know why he put this tweet up. Either he believes it, which I hope is not the case, or he just wanted to own the libs. And if that's what you're doing, you're hurting a lot of people by keeping that tweet up for so long, especially knowing what it represents. And if we're talking about being your online accountability partner, Chairman, you still have a subpoena in your inbox that's about 500 days old. And with that, I'll yield.
I especially like, before I move on, I especially like that little trope at the end, telling Jim Jordan that he's had a subpoena for over 500 days and saying that he's ignored it. Obviously, we're talking about the January 6th committee subpoena. And anyway, moving on with that. Jordan, are you really that damn stupid? One of your own people on CNN said that it's been happening, the rise of anti-Semitism has been rising since 2017. What happened in 2017? Oh, that's right. Your Lord and Master John Trump was seated as President of the United States, was inaugurated as the President of the United States. But before he was inaugurated as President of the United States, before he won the election in 2016, he had a chance to say anti-Semitism is wrong. He had a chance to denounce the racists of the Ku Klux Klan and the neo-Nazis. He had a chance to denounce David Duke, who openly endorsed him with the words, his election is the first stage of taking our country back. Jim, that's David Duke talking. Here's a video clip from Jim Acosta and CNN, Jim Acosta gives him a way out. He gives this bastard a way out, and he refused to take it. Take a look.
Well, just so you understand, I don't know anything about David Duke, okay? I don't know anything about what you're even talking about with white supremacy or white supremacists. So I don't know. I mean, I don't know, did he endorse me or what's going on? Because, you know, I know nothing about David Duke. I know nothing about white supremacists. And so you're asking me a question that I'm supposed to be talking about people that I know nothing about.
But I guess the question from the Anti-Defamation League is, even if you don't know about their endorsement, there are these groups and individuals endorsing you. Would you just say unequivocally you condemn them and you don't want their support?
Well, I have to look at the group.
When you're asked a question that simple, your answer isn't, I have to look at the group. How the hell do you not know about the Ku Klux Klan, you dumb fuck? Your father gave them sanctuary. Anyway, moving on that. It just makes me, it's a joke. It's got to be a joke. It has just got to be a straight up joke. Donald Trump actually posted this photo of himself, Make America Great Again. And as you can see circled, he's shadowed by the American flag. He's superimposed along with Nazi soldiers. Not American soldiers, Nazi soldiers. He even retweeted this photo of white genocide at white genocide TM at Rio Donald Trump. Poor Jeb. I could have sworn I saw him outside Trump Tower today with a man holding a sign, Vote Trump. Now, this caption is from the Washington Post. This Twitter user, whose profile page says his name is Donald Trumpowitz and that he lives in Jumerica, has a series of tweets espousing racist or Nazi-sympathetic views and sharing anti-Semitic photos and news stories. He also also regularly tweets racist things in response to Trump's tweets with the obvious hopes of being seen by other people who are viewing Trump's tweets or gaining a retweet from Trump himself. You honestly, moving on, he actually reposted this. This photo of Cricket Hillary makes history made most corrupt candidate ever, and obviously you see the Star of David. Not to mention the fact that Donald Trump had dinner at Mar-a-Lago after he left the White House, after he was voted out, at Mar-a-Lago with Kanye West after he tweeted some of the most anti-Semitic things. Going DEFCON on the Jews was one of them. Alongside having a neo-Nazi, not a neo-Nazi, a literal Nazi fuck, like Nick Fuentes. And if you know about this guy, I made videos about this guy. If you know about him, he is a literal fucking Nazi. You know, you're actually gonna sit there, Jim Jordan, and with that stupid ass look on your face and not know how anti-Semitism got on the rise in this country? It didn't happen in the last few weeks after the Gaza attack, after the attack by Hamas on Israel. It happened because your man gave them a fucking pass. Trump gave them a pass. And speaking of passes, do I need to remind you of the Charlottesville March, the Unite the Right March, where those assholes, those neo-Nazis, those KKK Klansmen screaming, Jews will not replace us. Jews will not replace us. Jews will not replace us. That was the first day. On the third day, a woman was murdered by a fucking Nazi, Heather Heyer. And you're going to just, I would love to be in the room with you right now, Jim. And I would love to say all of this shit to your face, and then you will run like the bitch you are, just like you ran when you heard those kids were raped at Ohio State. Don't you think for one fucking second that we forgot about that motherfucker. Your time is coming on that shit. You are going to face punishment for that, one way or another. But you're going to sit there and say that you don't know how anti-Semitism got on the rise in this country? And speaking of that, Donald Trump had the ultimate opportunity as president of the United States then, as the then president of the United States, to say, this was wrong, this was evil, I pray for heaven highest family. He did none of that shit. He tried to equate the counter-protesters fighting for our country, fighting for equality, fighting against anti-Semitism, and he tried to equate them with the neo-Nazis who marched in Charlottesville. And don't you worry, motherfucker Trump. I got receipts.
But there is another side. There was a group on this side, you can call them the left, or you've just called them the left, that came violently attacking the other group. So you can say what you want, but that's the way it is.
It's on both sides, sir. You said there was hatred, there was violence on both sides.
Well, I do think there's blame. Yes, I think there's blame on both sides. You look at both sides. I think there's blame on both sides, and I have no doubt about it, and you don't have any doubt about it either. And if you reported it accurately, you would say.
Neo-Nazis started this. They showed up in Charlottesville to protest.
Excuse me. They didn't put themselves down as neo, and you had some very bad people in that group. But you also had people that were very fine people on both sides.
So, Jordan, you are an asshole. You are stupid. You're a rapist enabler, but you can't be that fucking stupid. To not know how anti-Semitism got on the rise since 2017. Rashid Tlaib's comments were stupid as hell. They were evil as hell. But when it comes to actually how all this got started in the modern time, it's because your man Donald Trump gave the green light to it. Trump could have ended this whole thing in a moment's notice. He didn't. Trump could have said, this is wrong. He didn't. Because for one of the chief reasons is because either he agrees with it, which I wholeheartedly believe he does, and because he didn't want to lose their votes. Here are the facts, Trump. You're an anti-Semite, and we have that on record. And even if you're not an anti-Semite, you should have had the guts to say this was wrong. But this is about Jim Jordan. You can play stupid all you want for the sake of Donald Trump because you think he's going to select you as vice president. Because you think you're going to get a cabinet position if God help us, if he takes power back in 2024. You can try to paint every Democrat as an anti-Semite. We're not. But we are going to call out Israel when they're wrong. The bombings in that hospital, that refugee camp. Any decent human being would do that. But when it comes to you, I think our motives are a bit different. You're trying to do it in order to cover the MAGA, trying to cover the Republican Party. It's not happening. It's too late. Nice try, Jordan. But you're an asshole then. You were an asshole when you let those kids get raped, and you're an asshole now by trying to cover up what your party has done. Shame on you, and God help you. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.